What's up, guys? Welcome to Monchkinz Gaming, where we take your gaming to the next level. This is Monchkinz logging in to bring you another Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia video, and welcome back to another versus/storytime video where I take on the hardest contents in the global version of the game, as well as give you guys a bit of a background story of what's been happening with my account and stuff like that. Anything interesting, really. So first off, let's talk about this video and the fight itself, because this is the very first Lufenia stage, and as you guys can see, this is actually my first time around trying it. I went with Warrior of Light, and I went with Noctis and Realm for this one. Honestly, I'm really happy that we are back to something that I think was missing with the challenge quest. The challenge quest was nice and all, but it was so restrictive that you couldn't bring any other characters except for the synergy or boosted characters, which I liked initially, but it's sort of like pushing you to pull on the banner in a certain way. So I'm really happy that we have finally got back to normal, where you can just pick whichever heroes you want and then still have a friend support and stuff like that. So my Warrior of Light is fully decked out. He does have his LD and burst, and I will tell you the story about that, and be ready for another sad story. But in any case, he's fully decked out, and I think he made the fight so much easier and so much more manageable. But it is not completely undoable without him, right? I think Bosch is a great substitute tank for this one, so he's definitely up there if you don't have Warrior of Light's entire kit, or if you just have his EX Plus. I think I've seen a couple of people actually saying that you actually don't need his LD even, but I can't really remember like clearly on top of my head. I have seen some posts and stuff like that, but that is I mean, the reason why I brought him is because of course he's a synergy character and I have him fully decked out. Now my reason for picking Noctis is this is a single target boss. So I would love to actually deal a lot of single target damage, and Noctis does this pretty well. Now the thing is that Shinryu's aura will prevent him from being like knocked back. I think if it was it green or something like that. Anyway, the aura matters a lot when it comes to Noctis, because basically, well, I guess not just Noctis, but all the characters. But with Noctis, it really avoids, I mean, Shinryu avoids getting knocked back, which means you do less damage, especially if you can time it right. But either way, I just brought him along because he's fully decked out as well. I do have his burst as well, and I do believe I ended up using Noctis's burst instead of Warrior of Light in this one, if I remember correctly. But that's the main reason. And Realm, I mean, I've I've put a lot of resources on Realm, so I really do want to use her as much as I can. Like, basically it was an investment, right? It was a huge investment. Did I have to pity her? I think I had to pity her. I can't even remember, man. This is how bad Night Shift does. I can't remember stuff like for a few weeks now. But I know I invested a lot of resources on Realm, and I just want to use her. Simple as that. Plus, with the combination of Realm and Noctis, I have a lot of turn shenanigans at my disposal, which is really help when it comes to the Lufenia orb. So if you guys don't know about how Lufenia works, I do suggest checking out a lot of the other DFFOO content creators, because they have already explained it quite a few times. I think Broadway Saiyan and Josephir, and a couple more, I believe, have already explained what Lufenia is and the mechanics about it. And I personally, because I don't really play JP anymore, well, so I'm not the best person to actually explain a lot of things about Lufenia. So I do admit that I'm actually trying JP once again, but that's another story for another day. But hey, maybe I might talk about it in this video as well. But that's let's go back to the topic at hand. So Shinryu, lots of our different auras, and basically one of them will prevent knockbacks. I think it might have been the yellow one, now that I really think about it. So I know the purple one prevents Brave and HP regen, and I think green guarantees that he will be able to guarantee a hit. So he has all these different auras. You need to know how it all works, and when to use your abilities that actually has Brave gain, because if he has that aura that prevents Brave gain and HP regen, basically Warrior's Light, like Shining Shield, won't be doing any damage at all, because you can't get any Brave gain and it doesn't do any like Brave hits. So just something to think about. The Lufenia orb does have five counts, and I believe in this video I got it to it went down once with me, but honestly speaking, I could have prevented that. I really could. I ended up not using my friend support for this one as well, which is, saying something, right? That, hey, we are in the next stage of the difficulty level, but at the same time, it's still really doable even without a friend support. So, I know it only gets harder from here, but for this first Lufenia stage, think of the very first Chaos fight as well, that the difficulty didn't spike up too high, and they increased the difficulty by just a tiny bit. I still felt this really felt like a Chaos fight still, with obviously towards the end of the fight the damage that you're doing really significantly goes down, and that's, I think, the biggest difference. Even, in Chaos, of course, your damage went down as well, but I think it's much more significant, and you can really tell how much damage you're doing, because I used my burst, my Noctis burst, at the end, almost at the end of the fight, and the damage output that he was doing was pretty minuscule. So you will notice a big difference when it comes to damage. So having that extra friend support actually will really help. There's obviously other party compositions, and I would like to hear what your party composition for this one as well, so you can leave those down in the comments below. But other than that, if you do have Warrior of Light, he just prevents you from getting HP damage. There are still some cases that he might break through the shield, but for the most part, if you do have his LD, you won't be taking any HP damage as long as you have the shields, and he has a lot of ability counts, so I don't think you're going to be running out, especially if you're using some HP attack plus every now and then. But again, it all works out because I have a lot of turn shenanigans and a lot of turn saves when it comes to both Noctis and Realm, so it all worked out having to use HP attack plus a few times. Other than that, I don't think I can really say anything more about the fight itself. It does have a recast bar, and just have to be careful with that. And he got the Lufenia orb at some point when his HP went down to a certain level. I can't remember on top of my head. But yeah, that is all I have to say about the fight. Now, let's talk about some story time. Alright, so story time will be obviously how I got Warrior of Light's burst in LD. Look, I actually have a video. I recorded my pull video. I did my first 50 tickets and then I mean, that was the only tickets I had. I had 50 tickets. I didn't get anything out of it. And then I did some multis. I only had like 20k gems at that time. So after 3 pulls, guess what? Burst first is a curse. Burst first is a curse. You don't want to get burst because it's a curse. Well, you don't want to get burst first because it's a curse. You know, and when that happens, it kind of makes you feel like you're obligated to get the LD. And I'm not really proud of what I've done, but I did more questing. And I still didn't get it. I nearly pitied the LD again. It was that bad. So I didn't even get the chance to go back to VV's LD to try and chase that, because I just don't have the resources. So I'm not proud of what I've done. I'm not happy with what I've done. But I think I have to be more... I have to have more self-control. That's it. My self-control has not been that great. I tell you guys one thing and I end up just doing the opposite of that. I don't know if night shift had something to do with it, because I was sleepy. I was getting frustrated. I got easily frustrated by why did I get the burst, not the LD, and blah blah blah. It all comes with the game, right? The game is made that way, so it's not like your luck is always gonna be great. But my luck has been pretty terrible for the last month. But the previous month, I was actually having a pretty good month, I think, previously. But oh man, last month has just been pretty terrible. The whole Halloween thing has been pretty terrible for me. Even with all the free pulls, I think there was only one time a free pull I actually got something that I technically like or technically want, but nothing that impressed. So if I remember correctly, you can correct me down in the comments below. But so anyway, ended up doing some questing and I still couldn't get it. So I ended up just giving up, and I got some few tickets after finishing some of the story stuff and gems again. And with the tickets, I finally I got like 10 tickets or something, and I finally got his LD. I went back, I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna pay extra more, and I paid quite a bit. Actually, I quested quite a bit. I didn't pay, I quested quite a bit. And overall, like, I got it after the ticket pulls. I actually went between the 2 banners. The first time I was pulling was on the on the Thancred banner. So I got Thancred's EX. I was pretty happy, and then I went to the other one because I wanted Sync's EX as well at the same time, and that's where I got the burst. But then I thought maybe I should go back to the first banner, which was, I think, the biggest mistake, because I should have just stayed on the Sync banner and probably might have gotten Sync's EX as well in the process. But I went back on the older banner thinking that that's where I'm gonna get the LD. Big mistake. But at the same time, you know what? I got it. I was pretty relieved actually that I got it on the tickets, because I still had 5k gems from doing all the story stuff. So I was like, it could be my last pull, and I have nothing left, no more questing. That's what I said to myself. I'm putting my foot down after a few questing. I was like, oh man, I really need to have some self-control. This is not good. It's not good. Even though I was very frustrated, I wasn't sleeping. I still had night shift the following, like on that day, and I woke up I think about 1 p.m. and I was still up until 4:30 in the afternoon. So I was up, so yeah, I was up at 2 p.m. and I was still up by around 4, nearly 5 p.m. and I still have work at 9. And I have to get up at 7, get everything ready, get ready, have something to eat, and all that stuff. I usually wake myself up around 7. That way I can take a shower and, have something to eat and just relax for a little bit before I go to work. And so I really wanted to sleep, but I was so frustrated. So in the end, it was just a sigh of relief. Like I said, you don't actually need Warrior of Light for this one. It's just, I got his burst, and it felt like I was obligated to get the LD. And that's just what Square Enix does to you. They know, they give you the burst first because they know you're going for that LD if you got the burst first. So I think I've really learned my lesson. Even if I get the burst, I really should try to just stick with the plan and forget about it. Forget about the LD if you can't get it. Just get it from another banner or get it another time. So yeah, pretty long story time. But since we have a few more minutes, I would just like to say that I did mention it earlier that I have been playing some JP DFFOO as well on the side. Night shift hasn't been very busy, so during my breaks I ended up opening up the JP version. I downloaded it and started playing because I wanted to test out Tifa's LD because but anyway, I started a new account, so obviously I can't really test her because I don't have the resources to. And so I've just been playing it on the side pretty casually. If you follow me on Twitter, you actually will see that I actually pulled both Cloud's burst weapon and Squall's burst weapon in one pull, in one of the starter banner. And before that, my very first pull, I actually got Lightning's burst weapon as well. So I got the trios burst. I basically just been finishing the story and then going to the banner. And then once I got Tifa's LD, I've been on the starter banner. Been trying to get Lightning's EX actually. And that didn't work out. I still don't have Lightning's EX, but my plan is probably to pull one more time, because if I pull one more time on the starter banner, actually I will have enough to buy a book. So regardless, I think that's gonna be my plan. And so I can, EX plus a weapon, and I'm probably gonna EX plus Tifa's if I do get the resources to get there. Because I really want to try her out in terms of having like a full-on geared. I don't think I'll get her to level 80 crystal passive and level 80, because the problem is, even though I try to do co-op, there's just not a lot of people, especially if you're in a starter account. I think you're lower down the line when it comes to the servers, and not a lot of people are joining, and especially if you're rocking with a pretty low leveled character without any gear. I mean, my Tifa's level 70, but she's not geared. So you're not a lot of people probably will think, just trying to leech off or whatever. It's still my bell though, right? I don't join as a guest, I use my bell, but there's just not a lot of people, so I can't get the resources off the shop. So I'm just trying to play it casually, hopefully get there. I don't know if I'm gonna stick again, because the hard part with JP is it's so frustrating because I can't understand anything, and some of the gates can be very frustrating as well. Like, especially the start, like Act 1 has all these gates where you have to level up a certain character to a certain level and stuff like that. And anyway, that's beside the point. But I just like to let you guys know a little bit about what I've been up to in the background. So I'm still playing a little bit, right? But anyway, that's it for this video, guys. Please do remember to click like and subscribe if you haven't already. It does help the channel, and I really do appreciate all the support that you guys give me. Again, leave down in the comments below what you think of this Lufenia stage and what team did you use. And I would like to hear from you guys as well. If you have any stories to tell me about your experience with, like, what happened with me, let me know down in the comments below. And also to make sure to follow me on Twitter and on Facebook at Monchkinz Gaming. This is Monchkinz logging off. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next level.